Hi, my name's Tom. If you bought a laptop in the last 3 or 4 years, you'll notice they have a lot of power and they do a lot of cool stuff, but the one thing they don't usually have is a lot of ports. Most laptops only have 1 or 2 USB ports, maybe an HDMI port, maybe a USB-C port, and that's about it. There's really not a lot to this. They have space for them. They just don't put them in because they figure, people only need the bare minimum, and that's how they can sell these things for less. But if you want to expand your laptop and kind of give it more ports and more power and more accessibility, you can either spend a whole bunch of money on a whole new laptop, or you can get one of these. NewQ sent this to me, and what this does is it allows you to plug this into your USB-C port on your laptop. In this particular laptop, I only have one. I have one USB-C port, so that's fine. But the cool thing is, with this little hub, I can expand it and have all sorts of cool accessories plugged off the laptop by using this port. So let's real quick talk about the actual hub itself. It's a USB-C input hub again. It's got about a 6-inch cord, and here's the actual hub itself. It is metal. It is nice and smooth. It feels good in the hand. It's small. I mean, my whole hand, it fits in my hand just like that. So that's nice. You can just throw it in the bag with the laptop, carry away. It only weighs a couple ounces. That's great. You'll see some of the ports on it. That's power in. You've got a USB, I think they're called USBA ports. You've got an HDMI port. You have an Ethernet port. My laptop does not have an Ethernet port. If I want to wire it into the network, tough. I can't do it unless I have something like this. And on the other side, you have another USB port, and then you have a USB-C port. So again, I can kind of plug this into my USB-C, and I can change something else off of it, and it works fine. I'm not going to get into all the specific technical details about this hub. The Amazon listing actually has them all, but this is a USB 4.0 compatible. It's got a USB-C input, so that's kind of nice. It's got a whole bunch of different little features on it. You may not want to actually charge things off of this. You're better off charging them right off your laptop. It just works better. When this thing runs, it will get a little bit warm. That's to be expected, and that's okay. So let's go ahead and see it in use. Here is my daughter's laptop. And then here is my 65-inch screen TV. Sometimes when she's doing things on this, she would love to go ahead and put it up on the TV. She likes to edit videos sometimes, and she'll show them off to people. But looking at this little laptop screen is kind of rough. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this hub. I'm going to plug it right into the side of this USB-C port right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the HDMI cable from my TV, and let's see here. Where is it? Up there it is. And I'm going to plug it right into the hub itself. I'm going to turn the TV on. I'm going to open up the laptop, give it a moment. Ta-da! Whatever I have here on my laptop, as you can see as my mouse moves around, I show up on my TV. It's all going through this little hub. By default, it'll go ahead and just duplicate my screen, so whatever I have on my laptop will show on my other screen here. But what I'm going to do, most laptops allow you to do this, is you can actually change it so that it will make it a second, extend it. And now I have a second screen. So now I move my mouse on here, can you see it? And it moves up here. But if I moved off to the side, now I have it up here. So now essentially I have 2 laptop screens all with one little hub. So if you've got an extra monitor hanging around or an external monitor somewhere and you don't know how to hook it up to your laptop and it won't work, you don't have the ports, this little hub will allow you to extend the monitor so that when you're working from home or you're doing some kind of a project, you can have your laptop screen as well as a larger screen or a separate second screen to the side, all with the use of this little hub. So I've walked around my house and I've kind of tested this on a couple other little laptops and screens, and it all works great. I did test the network as well. It's really not much of a test for video. You just plug in a network and do you have network speeds. So I can make this an Ethernet port. That's really helpful. So normally your Wi-Fi only gets up to a certain speed, but if you have a corded network, you can go ahead and use this little hub, plug it into the USB-C, plug your Ethernet cord, your network cord into this, and then you will double or even triple your internet speeds on your actual laptop, because now your laptop is wired into the network as opposed to actually just using Wi-Fi. So that's actually a really, really helpful thing to have on a port. And not all the ports have them, but I actually like this a lot because when I walk around the house, when I work from home, and I want to do Zoom calls, I have a laptop, again, that doesn't have an Ethernet port. I will often wire myself in so I don't have any lags, I don't have any drop calls. It all works great. Another use for a hub like this is if you have this plugged into your PC, is you can go ahead and use USB keys or even external hard drives. You just plug them right off of it and you just kind of go. And you have, again, you have multiple ones, you have multiple ports, so you can go ahead and have multiple hard drives. So my daughter will often, on her laptops, will often have a headset. She'll have a USB external drive. She'll have a wireless mouse which uses a little USB key. She will sometimes use a secondary monitor, an external monitor, and she'll have various other little features. So she'll be charging a phone as well and doing other things with it. So all those ports, you just don't have those on a laptop. That's where this little hub comes in, and it's really, really helpful. This works great. I went into a bunch of different paces. Again, as long as you have the technical requirements for it, just again, double check the listing, make sure it should work. Any laptop, Mac or PC in the last 4, 5, 6 years should work fine with this. Yeah, it really works well. I highly recommend it. It's a good product.